Hey folks, Hokey video blog for this very warm Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us here. Temperatures right now outside in wave country as warm as they should be in the springtime. This is ridiculous. You're going to want to see this coming up here in just a few minutes. Up first, a look at our Hokey weather fact, and we're talking about the fog that we had both earlier this week and last week for some period of time. It's called radiation fog. That's when the ground begins to cool as we go throughout these longer overnight periods, and that also cools the air, so much to the point where we get condensation, and that creates the fog. And this only happens, well, I should say it happens most often during the fall and the early winter. So not that rare. You can tell your friends you learned that on today's Hokey weather fact. Outside this morning from our Kentucky One Health SkyTrack camera at Jewish Hospital downtown. Beautiful morning, if not for the clouds. It's the temperatures, though, that are the main story. 67 here in Louisville, 60s elsewhere across wave country. Now, we've got the clouds moving in. That's helping to not only isolate us, but could generate just a few of those isolated sprinkles across southern Indiana as well. Warm air moving in from the Gulf of Mexico. We've pretty much got a direct line of that, so it's going to be a warm one today. Record-breaking high temperatures, a certainty at this point. Our next weather maker, though, coming out of the west, you'll see it over portions of New Mexico and Arizona. It's a big low pressure that is spreading some snow over the mountains of northern Arizona near Flagstaff at this point. That's going to be moving east, and eventually by Monday morning, that's when we get our rain. Here's an interesting thing to point out. The warm air is moving in kind of in a slanted fashion from southern portions of Texas there on into the lower Ohio Valley. Now, this is in such a fashion that if you look down in Florida, we are actually warmer than Orlando and Pensacola, Florida at this hour. Isn't that crazy? That's just how the warm air is moving in. Not often we get to say that this time of year. Here we go on Futurecast for today. We got a couple of isolated sprinkles possible. Some of these may fly under the radar this morning, but by the afternoon they're out of here. Futurecast being too conservative on high temperatures today, saying upper 60s. Heck no. We're talking lower 70s, easily shattering that 68-degree record high temperature that we had set back many years ago. 4:30 this afternoon, making plans to go out to dinner. No umbrella, no jacket necessary. In fact, these temperatures at levels that likely will be warmer in some cases than indoor air temperatures. Isn't that nuts this time of year? And then by Sunday morning, we'll be down into the lower 60s, eventually recovering towards 64 by 11 a.m. Pretty calm weather, but the winds will be increasing as we go throughout our Sunday afternoon. Let's talk records first for our Saturday here. Record high temperatures at 73 degrees for our, of course, forecast high here, shattering the 68-degree temperature we had back in 2007 on this date. Sunday will do the same. In fact, we'll see 74 for the high temperature, shattering that 70-degree record back in 1927. That's a big, long one there. Now, the all-time record high temperature for December in Louisville is 76, set back in 1982. We could get close to that on Sunday. We'll keep an eye on that. Rain chances begin to move in early Monday. You'll notice that the rain chance is maximized between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. on our Monday morning. Should be mostly out of here by the Monday morning commute, but I can't rule out some showers, especially if they try to lag around just a little bit. Gusty winds are going to be a problem, I think, as we go throughout our Sunday night. We could have some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, as you see here on Futurecast. These are potential wind gusts out of the south as the rain moves in from the west early Monday morning, just after midnight there. Rain with us 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. As we go throughout 7 o'clock, rain moves east of I-65, at least by this model's assumption here. We still have wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour possible, even post-frontal passage here. So we're going to have to be watching for those winds pretty much for a pretty good chunk of time here. 61 after the falling temperatures on Monday, so that's Tuesday's high, 61 degrees. Wednesday, 57. Another front moves through, pulls our temperatures down once again, just in time for the premiere of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Many folks, including yours truly, myself, Brian Good, of course, been waiting many years for this. 32 years after Return of the Jedi was released. If you're heading out there at night, maybe you're going to be taking your youngling with you as well. You'll need to bundle up 20s and 30s possible, especially the 20s if you're going to those midnight showings. The 30s if you're going out to those pre-screening events, probably around 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening. So not terrible, but certainly like nothing we've had lately. So it's going to be kind of a shock to the system. 39 degrees on Friday. That's for a high temperature. a rude awakening, if you will, as we go throughout not only Friday, but Saturday of next weekend, 30s then too. Rain chances somewhere between the 21st and the 23rd here. I've kept this kind of murky because the timing's iffy on these on this system coming through pretty much during that time frame. It'll warm us up easily into the 50s. Will we see a snowflake or two before Christmas? It is possible, but man, that chance seems to be dwindling with each model run that I see. There's still some data that supports snow on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm not going to put it in yet, though, because it's like 384 hours out at this point, and that is suspect data, especially as we've seen over the last few weeks that data at the very end of those model runs can be, well, just overly cold. Pattern switch will occur, I think, as we go into January, where we start to see more 30s than 40s and 50s and more of those snow chances, but it's going to be an extended fall weather-like scenario as we go throughout most of the month of December. Not what you bots, Bring On the Snow lovers, wanted to hear. You're just going to have to be patient, much like last year. Remember, we didn't get our first significant snow until, February? I think that may be the case as we go throughout this winter as well. More patience, more waiting required, but certainly we could have some pretty good snows here as we go throughout the last part of this upcoming winter season. That's it for now. I am off tomorrow, so you will be joining Christy Dutton tonight, Andy Weingarten in the morning, and Brian Good on Sunday night for your latest forecast on Wave 3 News. Peace out, folks. I will see you next week.